So we heard a lot of interesting things about WB21, and people ask me, how do you come up with an idea like this? I mean, it's the global financial industry is full of banks. Some of these guys are $100 billion organizations. The global market financial systems is about 80 trillion, so this is a gigantic industry. And then how does this happen? I mean, do you wake up one morning and decide you want to revolutionize an $80 trillion industry that's out there for a few hundred years and where major players have covered any opportunity? And I say yes. And the reason why I want to do this is because I've experienced myself being a customer and how it feels, how insufficient, how inadequate it is if you're trying to open a bank account and you're dealing with so many obstacles. So there are probably many people as me out there being every day frustrated with their banks and wishing there might be a better solution. And not everybody starts a company and gets it to a $10 billion valuation. So how did this happen? When I was a boy, I would say about 13 years old, I asked my father, Daddy, how do I decide what to become later in life? How do you choose your profession? And my father said two things to me. The first thing he said, choose a subject, work with something that you really are passionate about. And I thought a minute, and I said, well, I'm very passionate about money. I'm sure there are more people out there who love money, so probably I'm not the only one. But that was one of the things that was so appealing to me already in the age of 13 that I always wanted to do something with this material money. How does money move? How is money being generated? What is money actually? And I think I followed the advice of my father. I went into the financial industry, into the banking, and probably this is why I became a banker later on. Now, the second advice my father gave me is the most important one. My father told me, do something where you follow your heart. Do as a job, as a profession, what you're really in love with. And this is what I did 30 years later when I founded WB21. I created a product, I created a company that is executing my vision of changing the world, turning the financial industry in a fairer place where people from 180 countries have the opportunity to participate and get a bank account. Getting a bank account might sound very trivial for each of us where we live in Europe. We live in countries where you might find 5 banks in your city, or if you live in a larger city, you have any bank you want. But it's not as trivial and not as common as we think. The World Bank defines it as a problem. They call it the underbanked. The underbanked means there are 2 billion people out there that do not have access to the financial system. Now, when you're cut out from the financial system, meaning you cannot open a bank account because you're living in a very remote area where no banks exist, or if you go to your local banks won't let you send money internationally, they won't connect you to the global financial market where you can have funds in different currencies, then you're cut out. What this means for customers that we have in Latin America, in Africa, they cannot prosper. They cannot overcome their usually very poor financial status because they cannot participate in the financial industry other than paying things in cash and doing business with people that are locally in their markets. So what WB21 does, we give them the opportunity to use their smartphone, open an account with us in less than 8 minutes, and become a member of the global financial industry. Any person, any individual out there that has access to the internet or to a smartphone is a potential customer for us. So our market is the world. Our clients are 8 billion. When we say today we have 5 million customers, it is impressive, but it's just the start.
Michael, congratulations to the Banker Award 2018.